Right. And then wild hogs in Arkansas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I remember when I was coaching wrestling, one of the wrestling coaches, he went down to Arkansas. He was like planning this out all year to go down to Arkansas once it was the right season to go hunt wild pigs.
You know how they got out there, right? How they ended up growing all them tusks?
No.
They're not boars. Some of them look like boars. So you got to remember back in the day when we're talking like before the Great Depression, you got to remember when people had to migrate, you know, not bringing up racial stuff, but when racial tensions were high and people were burning houses, they would let their wildlife loose, the pigs loose.
Oh.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, like livestock.
So if they're out in them woods and a house is on fire, ain't nobody thinking to go chase down all these pigs. And remember, pigs eat anything and everything. Yeah. So they basically adapted to their habitat and started growing tusk and all types of stuff.
Yeah, feral pigs are ruining ecosystems across 35 states, and hunting is making it worse.
Look at them. And if you look at
how is hunting making it worse?
What? Wait. Repeat that. Hunting's making it how?
I don't know. They're smart, secretive, adaptive, and have a appetite for sight. A appetite for everything in sight. And that's why the U.S. Department of Agriculture recently announced $75 million in funding toward a pilot program to control feral pigs. The effort is focused on areas where the hogs are causing the most damage, primarily in the southeast. But officials in Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Texas face significant challenges, not just due to the pigs' rapid feeding and breeding, but also because of their value as game. Today, they number an estimated nearly 7 million, have established themselves in 35 states, and have been spotted in 48. Dang. According to the USDA, they cause $2 billion in damage every year. Quote, "This situation has been described as the greatest emerging wildlife challenge that the United States faces in the 21st century." I had no idea, says John Jack Mayer, a biologist at Savannah River National Laboratory who's been studying wild pigs for over 40 years. Quote, "This is something we did to ourselves." The pigs rooting and wallowing. I love wallow. I love that word. You don't hear that word. Just wallowing in
your own dirt.
Yeah.
That's an old school word.
All began in the 1500s when European settlers brought them to the States for food. Okay. Then in the 1900s, sport hunters imported wild boars. Today, America's feral swine include wild boar, escaped domestic pigs, and hybrids of the two.
Yeah, because remember I told you, I didn't know about the wild boar thing, but I know when I was little, if my daddy couldn't sell a 1,000-pound hog, right? Because my daddy used to get a lot of money for that pig. Even when my daddy would tell me stories of how when he was a little boy, if my grandpa was in some type of bind, just to be an asshole, so couldn't nobody get the money, because you used to could get a lot of money, you still can for pigs. Yeah, he would have to let them loose. And the funny thing, when they lived on the property, my dad had one pig. I remember the story very well. He trained with his dogs, and the pig used to think he was a dog. Right? Because pigs are very smart. If you raise them.
Right, yeah, they are.
So what happened was when my dad was somewhere, and when he let those pigs loose, my daddy was sad, like, oh, where's my pig? And I promise my brothers and sisters can tell this story like crazy. My dad would go to like a certain spot, and my daddy wasn't even thinking about that pig. And when you see them wild pigs, they'll rush you and attack you. Yeah. And for some weird reason, that same pig he raised would always come up to him, wouldn't do nothing to him. And that's how he knew it was his pig. And he stopped seeing it when my brother was born in like 1968.
That's crazy.
That was the last time he saw that pig.
What marks on it did he remember?
He just knew, because normally wild pigs, if you're out there hunting, they're going to rush you. They're not going to. Yeah. He would just walk up on my daddy and start rooting like a dog. He just remembered my dad. And he knew.
And it was your grandpa's pig.
It was my grandpa's pig. And because my dad had a pig that he raised. Like, I raised a pig. Like, it's weird. It's like a family tradition. Yeah. He had a pig with a broke leg. And he didn't want it to die. And my grandpa was like, well, take care of it. That's your responsibility. Yeah. And when he got it big, my daddy loved to hunt, and he loved his dogs. So that pig, he put the pig so it could walk. When he would go rabbit hunting and deer hunting with the dogs, that pig mimicked what the dogs do. So that was like his baby. And the pig, my auntie got a picture of my daddy with that pig. That pig got like so big and got like 1,000 pounds and would go in there and look for my daddy and be crying outside for my dad. So when my daddy went somewhere, the story was my grandpa owed somebody some money, and they were going to come and take a lot of that.
Oh, yeah,
so
take it.
Daddy,
take the pig.
Grandpa, I don't know how he got that one away, but shoot him away. I guess that pig was following other pigs. And my daddy could not find that pig. He's like, Book, don't bring that pig over here. But when my daddy over the years would hunt, they would spot the wild pigs because they rushing and attacking of the game.
Yeah.
And he was sitting, I guess, getting ready to shoot one. And he noticed one walking up slowly. They don't walk up slowly on you. They rush you.
Yeah.
And he was like, I guess he called him Bob. And he's like, Bob, like on some trippy shit. Like, Bob, where the hell? Bob had tusk and shit and old looking and dirty.
That's hilarious.
And followed those dogs and would follow my daddy till he get to his truck. My daddy would take my brothers, and that pig would come back every time. I guess that pig knew my daddy sent and would come up to my daddy and be crying. I'm like, that's some shit off a movie.
I know. That's a movie I'd love to see. That's a Disney movie.
That's a sad-ass Disney. He's like, I can't take you with me. I got a family.
It's like Brokeback Mountain.
Right. Man, can you imagine what those horses was going through in that tent scene?
Oh, yeah. They're like, I didn't know they were gay.
Wait. I mean, wait.
He's sucking his dick.
You notice that you never see that movie get played on TV. Never see reruns. I think that's like
it's hilarious.
I'll be waiting on the day TNT Brokeback Mountain this Saturday night. No, you gotta get it. That
and then you like an ad for like hot cocoa and like marshmallows comes on the bottom of the screen. You know, get ready
because it's gonna be
this holiday season. Brokeback Mountain Marathon.
Matthew McConaughey in Brokeback Mountain Duce. Mexico style. I was gonna tell you, wait, not to talk about Brokeback Mountain. I didn't mean to laugh.
I don't know how to quit you. Matthew McConaughey.
He was my favorite part is when Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
I guess that when they were separated because he was missing his lover.
Right.
They couldn't go fishing or whatever they did. Yeah. My part is when he drove all the way down to Tijuana
to get some ass.
And when he walked, they didn't even have to zoom in on that part because I'm real funny. I'm really goofy about shit like that. They zoomed on him going in that dark alley.
Right.
And your imagination had to try to figure out, was he going to get a carne asada burrito? Did he drive from home? See, we couldn't assume.
And also, what does he define as a carne asada burrito?
There you go. Because so basically you knew he was down there buying prostitutes.
Yeah.
And it was like that movie was a good movie, but then it's like, should I do this at a family reunion when the kids go to sleep so everybody can see Jake Gyllenhaal? You know, it's one of them taboo movies that you'll never see a rerun on regular TV.
Right. Yeah.
It's like,
I have a friend who was like, she was like, yeah, I understand why people like the movie. They're gay. They haven't had a gay character, but she's like, it just seems so emo. And I was like, yes. It's it's like the gay emo movie.
Right.
It's
good, but it's like, like that, moment, like,
It's like over the top too.
You know what?
One of the scenes that really got me, I was like, this would not happen. They're trying to hide that they're gay. The one time that Jake Gyllenhaal comes to the
house,
the house,
when they start totally kissing against the wall,
and his wife is just staring at him.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
he grabbed him, was like, when he had the white hat,
and the hat falls off, and he's like, oh, my hat.
And his wife just sitting there. I thought,
I was like, now I'm losing the realness in this movie. Like, shouldn't they be hiding this a little bit more?
Do you know what? Can I ask you, so are you allowed to play certain things on here? Is there like a...
I can play whatever I want to on this, but when I upload it to YouTube, I might not be able to upload that. But...
when you got time...
Yeah.
Oh, they can hear what I gotta say. I was going to tell you the song. There's a guy that came up with a song that was inspired by that movie, and it's called Ram Ranch, and it went viral. There's a Guitar Hero version of the song.
Is it on Spotify?
It's on. He probably is on Spotify, but if you watch it on YouTube and you put in Grant McDonald Ram Ranch, there you go, right there.
Is the video better?
He doesn't have a video. It's just a picture of him.
Oh,
but I mean, butt naked with a vest.
18 naked cowboys in the showers at Ram Ranch. Big heart-throbbing cocks wanting to be sucked. 18 naked cowboys wanted to be fucked. Cowboys in the showers at Ram Ranch on their knees wanted to suck cowboy cock. Ram Ranch really rocks.
Oh my God. So,
like a breeding ram wanting to rut.
Wow.
Blanking cowboys in their sleep.
That's fascinating.
That song got 20 million views.
No.
Went viral. And people made a Guitar Hero version. Oh, no. And the cold part about it, the reason why the reason why he's still popular to this day, no one knows what he looks like.
Oh, perfect.
No one could get it. All he did was found an instrumental and recorded it on his phone and uploaded it because of Brokeback Mountain.
Okay.
The reason why it went viral because they're trying to figure out who is Grant McDonald. What does he look like? Somebody paid a private investigator. He's based in Canada. He won't show his face, but he's an investment banker.
Right.
A plain old, ordinary Canadian, well-to-do investment banker. 18 hot naked cowboys.
Just making a funny video
like
or a funny song.
Breeding ram. And he got more fame, even though he's not public with it.
Yeah.
Do you know how much money
It's so funny.
he got paid just for doing that off of that movie?
No.
He based it off of watching that movie. And he just was like 18, multiplying like a breeding ram wanting to rut.
Wow. I want to get back to this article, though.
Sorry. Yeah.
This is interesting. In the 50s and 60s, says Mayer, wildlife departments promoted big pig hunting and sometimes even stalked the animals. Now they're the second most popular game animal after white-tailed deer. But even when state officials encouraged sport hunting for the explicit purpose of curbing the tidal wave of pigs, it's backfired. Hunters love to shoot them, so they transport the animals to new areas. Even when the new hunting spots are fenced properties, the swine are notoriously good at digging their way out and escaping.
Yes.
Once they're out in the open, feral hogs simply breed too fast for hunters to keep up. They got that clap. To wipe out a population, you need to shoot 60 to 80% a year, says Mayer. But recreational hunting can only cut their numbers by about a quarter. And while plenty of non-human predators would enjoy some pork, including mountain lions, alligators, coyotes, and hawks, there are just too many pigs to make a dent. Meanwhile, they thrive almost anywhere between the Arctic and the tropics, and females can birth 2 litters every year. They are opportunistic omnivores, which is a fancy way of saying if it's got a calorie in it and they can get their mouth around it, they'll try to eat it.
Oh, yeah, they eat anything.
This is bad news for farmers, conservationists, and even archaeologists. The hogs literally tear up fields, especially in the southeast. It's not just that they voraciously eat anything edible, but they also vigorously root around in the soil as they search for food, leading to their nickname, the rototillers of nature. Dang. They also wreck areas through repeated trampling. About half of the $2 billion in damage is agricultural impacts. They also trash natural habitats. Perhaps the worst impacts are to watersheds. Pigs love living around and rooting through these areas. They also need to wallow in water to cool off. These activities lead to loss of plants, soil erosion, and increased sediment in streams. Swine waste also introduces pathogens and nutrients into water, posing a health risk and contributing to algal blooms and fish kills downstream. So their shit gets into the water.
Yes.
Importantly, feral swine are a vector for diseases that spread to both domestic pigs and humans. That's not only a public health concern, it could destroy the nation's livestock. African swine fever is currently devastating the Asian and European pork industry. If it hopped the pond, wild pigs could quickly spread the deadly disease, bringing hundreds of billions of dollars in damage to the pork industry here, says Mayer. The impacts go on and on. Feral pigs have damaged cultural and archaeological resources on Santa Cruz Island off the coast of California. The National Park Service and the Nature Conservancy moved quickly to wipe the island of pigs after they discovered that the animals had been rooting through archaeological sites belonging to the Chumash, a Native American group whose presence in the state dates back as much as 11,000 years. They've even been found to eat dusky gopher toads, an endangered species, according to a USDA spokesperson. That's why the USDA has poured money into fending off the swine. In a previous effort, they helped fund control efforts in less densely populated states. Officials used corral-like traps to round up as many individuals of a sounder, a group of hogs, as they could, and they euthanized the animals. According to a spokesperson, Idaho, New York, Maryland, New Jersey are now pig-free. Iowa, Minnesota, Washington, and Wisconsin are nearing success too. Wow, this is a field dug up by wild hogs. Dang,
let me ask you a question.
Is this with their horns?
Yeah.
Their tusks?
Their root. But let me tell you something. Do you see one farmer on there complaining? Look at that picture. No, here we are.
Yeah, I mean,
nope. No. Can I tell you why?
Why?
Do you know how much money a farmer can get from government grants and their insurance on that land? Say, like Arkansas and all those states.
Yeah.
You know how sharecropping, there's a difference between sharecropping and farming. People think, even though a sharecropper is still a farmer owns his land.
Yeah.
He put money into the seed, keeping the mechanics up.
Right.
A sharecropper lives on a farmer's land and asks for rent and home or whatever.
Right.
They farm that land for them for pay. They never own the property. So point being, let's say you're the number 3 rice farmer in your town. You grow rice for everybody. Your farmland estimates at $5 million. This is your revenue. This is what you make.
Okay.
You got to remember, you got liability insurance on your land, your machines, whatever.
Yeah.
If those pigs come and mess up your land, the USDA, and every year they give farmers a stipend because of frost that comes in and kills the land.
Oh, things out of control, out of their control.
Act of God.
Yeah.
Point being, that's a free check for them. They don't have to work. They get free brand new equipment.
And so if pigs root up your land, they would give you money?
They have to.
For like what?
For your crops being, because think about it. It's the U.S. Department. Because if they're giving money to get rid of the pigs, that means the USDA, anybody who grows anything, rice.
It's costing the USDA money.
Yeah, but the thing about it is we got to eat. So they depend on these farmers to grow our food.
Right.
And Arkansas, I think, is number 5 in the number 5 in the world for growing rice. We're known for rice. So if a bunch of pigs messed up every rice field, it ain't going to affect the farmer because he's going to get a big.
He's going to get the money.
He's going to get a fat
and
ass
potentially
check.
Could take advantage of these
and
wild
that's going to drain the USDA. And guess what? If everybody caught on to it, like Alabama and Texas, they'll probably be $73 billion in the hole. The USDA.
Oh, that makes sense. I never thought about that.
So you see one farmer standing his ass out there. I'm mad that these pigs ate up my $1 million property, but I got a $5 million check coming on Friday.
I didn't see no pigs
at all. Exactly. So that's why if you ever pay attention to the government ever complaining about anything, you need to make sure
of course.
That
get
farmer,
the full story. Where's the farmer?
Because think about it. Let's say if you had 12 acres, right, of land, and you're growing rice. Do you know how much you make a year in rice selling rice? Like $2 million a year. A combine is like $500,000. The seed alone is $1 million bond, and you have to get the land bonded. Okay, you're $3 million out of your own pocket,
right?
And if something that's an act of God happens, because when you farm that rice, you're giving it to a rice company like Riviana and Riceland Foods.
Yeah, you probably have like contracts.
Yeah, it messes up your money and that business for that company. So it's like everybody's getting affected. So guess what?
Interesting.
It causes a food shortage.
Yeah.
And the government has to step in because it's becoming an economic impact.
Right.
So the farmers ain't going to complain. They don't give a fuck about the economic impact because they're going to get a $5 million check and a stipend on top of their stipend that they get.
Yeah.
So that's why they ain't really tripping.
But the Southeast is another scenario. Quote, I don't know that the Southeast is solvable. Not only are feral pigs long established and numerous, he says, people in the South, they grew up hunting wild pig. It's a part of the culture. In a new effort, a lot of the funds will go to local soil and water conservation districts, which will work with USDA officials to implement trapping and shooting efforts. In addition to the corral traps, arrow shooting is also a popular control measure. Yeah, shooting from a helicopter?
Yes.
In the early spring in Louisiana, before trees have leaved out, officials fly in helicopters and gun down hogs. But since pigs like densely vegetated marsh habitat, it can be hard to track them down. So in what's called the Judas pig technique, officials capture a pig and equip it with a tracking collar. They then free it and let it betray the whereabouts of its sounder, the group.
Oh, wow.
To stop the swine's destruction, officials might need additional tools. Though not in use yet, scientists are developing contraceptives and toxins that would target the pigs. Dang, they're going to fuck up their reproductive system. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
The challenge is ensuring that these measures only affect pigs. Feeders laced with such chemicals need to be only accessible to pigs and not other wildlife, and toxins need to degrade quickly so that hunters or animals that eat the pigs aren't harmed. I'm not eating pork. But measures to control the pigs aren't always appreciated. After announcements of eradication efforts, game biologists in the southeast have had their tires slashed and received death threats, according to Mayer. In states like Louisiana, aka Sportsman's Paradise, quote, the bulk of the population enjoys hunting and fishing, end quote. So people aren't happy with their pigs getting taken away. Wild hogs are also big business. In some states, including Texas, Oklahoma, and Florida, ranchers can round up the animals and sell them to government buying stations, after which the animals are slaughtered and the meat sold.
And then you eat a pulled pork sandwich. You ever see a barbecue? That's
North Carolina barbecue is pork.
That's a wild hog.
Yeah.
That's when they're gunning them down.
Yeah. If you've ever eaten a wild boar pulled pork sandwich, chances are that's where the meat came from. Yeah. In Texas, ranchers are making a killing off of charging hunters to fly in a helicopter on their property and shoot wild pigs. Yeah. Hunting the pigs for food might seem like a way to at least recycle the animals instead of letting their carcasses rot away, but it's created an industry that relies on their continued existence. In Texas, although some 25,000 to 30,000 pigs are killed annually, that's nothing compared to an estimated population of over 2 million. Dang. Some states have banned sport hunting or even possession of feral pigs for that reason. Quote, we're not going to barbecue our way out of this one. End quote. That's it. All right, that's a good way to end it. We're not going to barbecue our way out of this one.
There you go. So that's why that's why I was saying the USDA, and then when the waterman popped up, their shit is affecting our water. No, you don't want to pay your scientists to put chemicals in it to clean the water.
Right.
You lazy fuck. That's what you're there for, to test to see what's in the damn water. How you think? Because think about it. For them, we already drink recycled water.
Yeah.
And I don't want to gross people out. But in certain states, when people drink faucet water, it's already filtered water that was used in sewage.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? People don't know that.
Yeah.
So he don't want to be responsible for finding all these deadly contaminants in that water. That's why he's complaining. Here at the water, their feces is going to damage our water testing. That means you're going to be at work 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
Testing on hog shit water. Lazy fuck. That's what you get paid government dollars to do. I think you should do it. Lazy ass. That big ass turd.